live from Soho, New York City. It's Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern.
That's me. Hey, everybody. Yeah. It's June 4th. We do this every week. This is Phil, Mr. Lady Idiot himself.
Hello.
What is on today's show?
On today's show, there's a code. And the code is GPS Dog Log.
Ooh.
GPS Dog Log.
You can get 10% off everything in the Flora and Wearables category until midnight tonight using this code, which gives you an idea of what we're about to show you today.
That's right, Wearable Wednesday.
Where we show you some cool stuff from the blog and debut a new wearables project with Adafruit hardware.
Component of the week.
It's battery chargers, guys. Get excited.
That's right. Tools we choose. I choose you, tool.
We're going to be talking about a tool that makes sewing easier for everybody.
That's a Simpsons reference.
Yes, I choose you, Ralph.
Questions and answers. You got questions, Becky has answers.
If you have a question at any time during the show, you can post it up in the comments here on the YouTube or on the blog or the Google Plus or the Twitter, and I will load it up for a future show, which would make you eligible for the show's giveaway.
All that and more on Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern. Okay.
We have a fun show for you today.
We have a fun show. One other place that I don't think you can post a question, but I did want to mention it. So I was looking at your Wearable Electronics Pinterest board.
Yes.
It's comprehensive. It's a big deal.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on there.
And they can find it by going to pinterest.com/Adafruit. We're experimenting a little bit.
Yeah, and Pinterest is cool because you can share, you can collaborate on boards. So I've had the wearables board for a while. We talked about this maybe 2 years ago. Should we start a Pinterest account? And we don't start a social media property unless we're willing to follow up on it. We don't want to let anything languish. So recently Amy, our cosplay blogger, got interested in running the Adafruit Pinterest, and it's easy to just collaborate on boards. So the wearables board that I had on my own Pinterest is now collaborative with Adafruit, and so you can get to it more easily. It's usually just all the projects that we post on the blog and our original projects.
I like it. I mean, it's interesting because it's not, so you can't comment there to ask a question, but you can see a lot of great wearable electronics.
Yeah.
And then you could
ask a question in YouTube, say, hey, I saw this thing on your Pinterest board. What is that? Or, usually.
So anyways, we have that. There'll be a lot of Dune stuff because I'm helping out with it.
Yes.
So,
all right. Halloween this year is Dune.
We're doing Dune theme. All right. So let's jump right into Wearable Wednesday.
Okay, we have one customer project to feature this week. Look at there's more on the blog. So every week on the Adafruit blog, you can find cool wearables projects. I post them up, Leslie posts them up, Jess posts them up, you post them up. Everybody posts a cool wearables project, whether it's made with Adafruit hardware or not. These are made with Adafruit hardware, these awesome space helmets. There's a ridiculous video on the site, so you should go check it out. Thanks for sending that photo in. It's really very amusing.
This is my favorite post today.
You like this, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to mention Ask an Engineer too.
So
do your thing now.
This is the thread needle.
I'm giddy with excitement.
It's a .NET compatible sewable microcontroller. So and it's open source hardware, which is pretty cool. And it's black like the Flora. But look at all damn dare pins. So many pins. So if you are a .NET programmer, I know a lot of people are. There's uses the .NET micro framework. Which I'm not too familiar with, never having done any .NET programming myself, but some people, that's all they learn in computer science school, and then so your lens...
Their company is like a more Microsoft-centric
so your lens on the programming world could be through .NET, and this could really open up some wearable doors for you. I think the Venn diagram of the user base is a drawing I would like to see. However, we like to poke fun at .NET programmers, but there's a lot of them, so...
I just like that it's just like, here's a crazy Flora. It's just like
crazy .NET Flora.
Yeah,
it's not, it's just round and black.
Yeah, but I just like that it's a.
It has two buttons.
Well, we're starting wearables. I feel like in the last couple of years we've helped move it forward.
Yeah.
And so now we're starting to get a menagerie of like,
cool.
Here's
really
Florasaurus. Like there's a flying Flora and there's a a .NET Flora.
So many pins they had to move the JST port inland.
Yeah. No, I really like this one.
It's a beautiful board. Nice job, guys. Check it out. It's linked on the site. And then we're just going to dive right in to this week's project. So it just went live on the site, a new tutorial for a GPS logging dog backpack.
So that's why I had to say the word GPS dog log.
GPS dog log. If you would like to get 10% off your GPS project supplies, you can use code GPS dog log.
Okay, so this isn't a log that has a GPS in it that you track because the dogs are taking it somewhere.
No, but you can count. I mean, there's a lot of times when I did not make a Ren and Stimpy log joke in the video.
I know.
I tried really hard.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
Maybe when we come back from the video, I'll make all of those jokes.
All right, we'll get that out of our systems before we come back.
When I take my dog for a walk in the park, I like to track our trip with the GPS on my phone. I get a nice little map showing where we've been. But the sensor's on me, and the dog is running around. She's playing fetch or chasing squirrels. I'm curious to see how much more ground she covers. So today we're building a GPS dog harness using Flora, Adafruit's wearable electronics platform. Hopefully we'll get a nice little map of her activity as well as mine. The Flora and GPS are connected up with conductive threads stitched to a sturdy dog harness, and a AAA battery pack keeps the circuit data logging for hours. I used a scrap piece of clear vinyl to cover the circuit in case Olive runs through some wet grass or encounters a slobbery friend. The only other component that's nice to have is this coin cell battery, which helps the GPS remember its location faster when starting up. When the GPS gets a fix, the LED will stop blinking rapidly, and we'll use Flora's onboard indicator LED to tell us the logging program is running. After the walk, it's easy to plug Flora into your computer and grab the logged location data. Then just paste it into Google Maps to see how much more mileage your dog logged than you. You can even use it to make geo-drawings while you're playing fetch. So go make your own GPS project for logging the great outdoors, and then share it with us on our weekly show and tell on Google+. And don't forget to subscribe for more wearable electronics from Adafruit.
All right, and so this is
This is a map of our walk.
the said GPS drawing.
Yes, GPS drawing.
Okay, this is a cool project. So you have another.
This one's closer up, so you
Couple
can
photos
see
here.
it's really fun. This is like where we shot the video, so you can see like where we hung around and stood and filmed for a while, and
Yeah.
then where we were traveling. And then this was another time I made this brooch version, and wore it on a bike ride I went to Governor's Island. So what I thought was interesting about this map is that I got on a ferry, and you can see the path that the boat took, and it's not a straight line. That other straight line at the bottom is where like the battery died, and then it like is connecting to the next time it had a point over in Brooklyn. But you can see the map from Manhattan to Governor's Island. I found that really interesting.
We're pleased to announce a new social network where you can share your dog walks called Dogger.
Yeah. Oh, actually, like the thing is,
it
like
really?
the app on my phone.
does
Yeah.
that?
Like I get a notification like Norman is out on a walk. Like.
Oh.
Yeah, through our dog walk app, I know. But it doesn't give you that information about like how far she
Yeah.
goes. You know, it's all only on your phone, and I'm not willing to put my phone in the dog backpack.
Not yet. And then this is a picture of said backpack.
Yeah. It was really fun. Like it's yielded some surprising results, and it's really fun to play around. I don't know if everybody's into maps as much as I am, but like I really like maps. And when you're in the woods, you can see the trail maybe, but it's fun to sort of for later if you you found a cool watering hole or something, and you don't know exactly where you are, you can find this on your own map. But the thing is also that you have the data yourself. It's never being transmitted to the cloud. If you're a privacy nut, like you own these coordinates and nobody's spying on you. And you can also learn about the way GPS satellites work doing this project. So it's a really good first GPS project if you've maybe done an Arduino project before or a Flora project. It doesn't require that you understand really what the GPS code is doing because the sample code is all there for you.
Yeah.
It's a good like leg in, right? Where you don't have to, but you can understand the code.
Well, if you want to buy some of this stuff, you can get 10% off. GPS dog log.
We had a fun time. Like the dog, she's real easy, but the cat, we couldn't get, her agent wouldn't agree to any of it.
The cat wouldn't do anything?
She doesn't do projects with
Well,
us.
those are cats.
But the dog is pretty easy to, her agent's really accommodating, as you can see.
All right, component of the week.
We're talking about lithium polymer battery chargers. Look, whoa, they're everywhere.
It's like some weird version of the Brady Bunch where everyone's a charger.
Here's the story of a
Don't
poly
charge
battery.
Don't charge that, Jan. Okay. All right, so you want to go through these?
We're going to go through all of the ones that we have right now because we just added a couple more to the store. And
Okay.
yeah, sure. Why not?
First one.
This is the micro lipo charger. It goes directly into the USB port, which is really cool. So it's super small, portable, and you can, I lose them sometimes because they're so small. The smallest one we have, it by default is safe to charge our tiniest batteries, and then there's a jumper on the back you can short out to increase the charge amperage.
I like what you did there, so I'm going to go back to this one, and then I'm going to go to this one. Boom. Okay.
That's the same one, but in the USB, plugged into the USB port.
All
you
right.
can see how it just plugs directly in. So it's easy. It's handy to have in your pocket or in your laptop case for always charging a battery.
Go back to this. Look at this.
Yeah.
This is a lot of fun.
This is one of the new ones. We have this one in 2 flavors. It's the same circuitry as the micro lipo, but it's with a micro USB port on it, and mounting holes. So you can mount this inside of a project enclosure, not a wearable project, but a project enclosure.
Yeah.
And then you have a micro USB port for charging.
Okay.
Similar, this one's the same, but with a mini USB instead of micro. So choose your USB connector. That's that one close up.
Close up.
So also, but wait, you can see, go back. You can see the little jumper short thing in the front. It says 500 milliamps next to it.
Oh, yeah.
You just bridge that connection with a tiny bit of solder in order to charge faster, but you can only charge our bigger batteries with it. So the 500 milliamp, the 150 and the 100 and the 110 all need to be charged at a lower rate. This one does that by default, and so does the one that plugs directly in. If you want to charge a bigger battery faster, it's always fine to charge a bigger battery slower. You just bridge that with a little bit of solder.
That's handy. Go Lady Ada with her nice designs.
Yeah, it's excellent design. Here is our higher amperage charger over USB. And you can mount this in your project with the mounting holes, and it also has a load plug on it. So you can actually plug your Arduino project into the load side of this charger and never have to disconnect the battery. Again, we don't recommend putting chargers in your wearables projects.
And that's
these are for
same photo or same product, right?
This is a different product.
Oh, sorry. No, sorry.
This one is very similar, but it also has a DC jack, so you can charge it with a wall adapter in addition to a USB. That one, see, USB port, also DC jack on this one.
I knew that. I was just testing the audience.
Sure.
Yeah.
They're very similar looking, and it's confusing. That's why I'm going over them. This one has the USB, the DC jack, and is for solar because it has this big capacitor that can handle the fluctuations or smooth out the fluctuations coming in from a solar panel.
Yeah. Because when the cloud goes over, solar is very spiky, so you have to do.
You have to smooth it out. So this one is the most versatile, but also the biggest charger, and it doesn't work with our teeny tiny guys. You can only use the big batteries. And here's it hooked up to our solar panel, charger. You can see this one is in our solar charging, we have the bag back here, solar charging handbag project. It's like a solar powered Minty Boost. But you can also hook up to the output of this one to something like our new Power Boost or Minty Boost to get 5 volts for your project or 5 volts for your cell phone.
Power Boost 500 is launched, and we're going to do the Power Boost 500C should be out soon. Yeah,
cool.
Working on it.
Yeah, nice. So those are all, you want to go back to the other one of all of them? These are
that's
all of the chargers, the LiPoly chargers we have right now. So the, all around. So the 3 smaller ones are good for our small batteries, and our 3 bigger ones, the USB plus DC, and the USB plus DC plus solar, are good for our bigger batteries. And you can always bridge the connections on the smaller ones to make them charge the bigger batteries faster. And we're mucking around with a GoPro recently too, and using one of these small chargers to kickstart a dead GoPro battery.
Yeah. It can fix things too.
It can fix things. It can charge things. It can fix things. You over the years, we've added all of these chargers one by one.
Yeah, we're not done yet. The Power Boost series, it's maybe up to 12 products, and we're filling in the grid right now.
Right. So for now, though, you're having very robust options for charging your LiPoly batteries, which is great for us in wearables because we want to use those small, lightweight, rechargeable batteries.
Okay. Tools we really like. Here we go.
Okay, this is an embroidery hoop, and it's one of my favorite tools because it makes sewing easier for everyone. So if you've never done any sewing projects before, but you want to tackle wearables, you might think that the easiest thing is to just go at it and start sewing on a piece of fabric, but it's actually quite floppy, and you'll have a hard time making a nice, smooth, even result. So an embroidery hoop, what it does is it stretches your fabric out kind of like the head of a drum, and keeps it taut and like stiff, so that you can easily pierce it with a needle over and over and make your stitches on it while it's taut, so that your stitches are the same level of tense as the fabric. So when you take it out, you have a nice flat circuit and no rumples.
And the right term is sewing hoop?
Embroidery hoop.
Embroidery hoop. Even though you can use it for lots of different things.
Yes.
If you look for it in the store.
It's called an embroidery hoop. Yeah.
Okay.
Even though you can use it for sewing. Well, because technically when you're adding like conductive thread to an existing piece of fabric, you might call it embroidering, even though it's just sewing. Very basic embroidery stitch. So it has two pieces. I want to show you how it works. The one you can see in the picture, I don't know if you're not going to be able to see it on the overhead any better. There's a lip on one side. You can get all kinds of embroidery hoops, wooden ones, but the best ones that I like have a lip on the edge where it's not completely straight. There's like a little shelf at this top edge.
Yeah. And
then what happens is when your fabric is on top of that shelf, it's kind of like covering a mason jar or something, where this outer loop then is going to cinch down around that lip and act like hold it in place even better.
Okay, and then you turn this thing.
And then you turn the wheel to tighten the outer ring, and then you pull the fabric tight like the head of a drum, and you get that. And you can easily then attack it with your needle and thread and sew your components to it, and it's going to stay put and hold everything in view for you. Gotcha. So you'll see it's in a lot of different tutorials that we do. Recommend that you grab an embroidery hoop, and we have some in the store, but they're in the Om Sweet Om cross stitch kit.
Okay.
We don't sell them by themselves because they're not a very good deal for us, but they're cheap at the craft store, and I recommend the Super Grip Lip style if you want to have a really good first experience.
Okay.
But like really, they're just like $1 or so. And will really make your sewing go a lot easier. So if you're a beginner, you're thinking about starting your first e-textiles project, do yourself a favor and pick up one of these. You will not regret it. I've never heard anyone say, "Oh man, I wish I hadn't done that project in an embroidery hoop."
Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern, the only show that has embroidery hoops and .NET microcontrollers. Just like
together at last.
Yeah. Pretty soon there'll be 500 shows that have these two things together.
These two things together. I can't wait for a Wearable Electronics Sticky Burn where it's all about .NET programming the whole time.
That's it. Next up, question and answers. Here we go. Becky, what's the prize today?
It's a Flora GPS module. It's this one in my face that I have totally not licked.
Celebrating GPS dog log.
Locative, locative dogs.
Locative canines. Okay. First question is, hello from France. I would like to know if it is possible to store the data that has been gathered by the accelerometer of the Flora. I've seen that there's data logged on the GPS module, but no one ever mentions the possibility of storing the data of the accelerometer.
Hello from the USA. You can store the data from the accelerometer on the Flora if you want to. The reason we talk about it a lot on the GPS is that the GPS actually has a function built into it where it can store the data, and it's not reliant on anything that the Flora is doing. In fact, the Flora, all it does is start the logging program and then go to sleep. But you would have to write your own custom program on the Flora that's taking in the values from the accelerometer and then storing them in a variable or appending a file. Stored on like an SD card or something, and then slurp it off via serial. So yes, it's possible, but it's not built into the accelerometer the same way it's built into the GPS. So you'd have to write something custom. But yeah, sure, go for it, dude.
Next question for Q&A. I have 3 NeoPixel rings that I am powering with the Gemma. Is it possible to use a push-button switch to create different animation modes similar to Neo Geo Watch?
Yes, you'll connect it to digital input and ground, and you'll use the internal pull-up resistor. So you can follow a circuit diagram like the Flora Umbrella circuit diagram and the Neo Geo Watch both use that push button. And those two projects both have sample code that show you how to, 2 different ways actually, to listen to the button and change animation modes while it's going. If you are new to programming though and you're using a Gemma, you might want to use a Flora or a standard Arduino to prototype so that you can do some serial debugging and tell like what actions are being triggered by your button before you port your code over to the Gemma, which does not have serial communication, so you can't like you can't probe in there and figure out what your program's doing if you're not sure it's doing exactly what you want.
Okay. Next up, this is for you. So what happens to your RFID tag when your fingernail grows out? I bet they're talking about the video that you did, which is an RFID
We just put an
unlocker.
RFID tag in your fingernail polish and then use it to unlock your NFC phone, because I've got my Android phone and it has NFC. This guy wants to know what happens when it grows out. You just take it off the same way you take off your nail polish with nail polish remover and scrape it off. And then you put on another one and it's like changing your password.
Yeah.
And because they use the UV cured stuff, it lasts like 2 weeks. So.
Or it could just be time to get a new phone.
Just throw the phone out. You programmed it to go with that one tag, and now that tag doesn't work.
Done.
Garbage.
Done.
No, you just replace it. It's better than changing your password.
All right, next up. Hey guys, I want to make the LED sparkle skirt, and in the instruction it calls for a 150 milliamp hour LiPo battery. Is there a reason why you couldn't possibly use a higher milliamp battery for it to last a bit longer? Possibly through the right. Just wondering. Thanks in advance.
I like how it looks like you're reading it from underneath.
I am. I'm looking at it from underneath. We actually handcraft each one of these questions.
We put it in front of the camera.
It's right here.
Anyway. So there's no reason why you couldn't use the bigger battery. Go for it. You could use any of our live poly batteries to power the Flora. It was a consideration of weight. And the Sparkle Skirt's one of the first Flora projects we made, so I think it was before we even carried the 500 milliamp hour live poly battery, which is my new favorite, since it's only slightly larger than the 150 milliamp hour, but more than twice the capacity. So that would be my recommendation for the most logical upgrade. But the Sparkle Skirt only has 12 LEDs and only a couple of them are on at any given time. So that battery really lasts a long time. Okay. But it depends on what you mean by all night. Because all night for me ends at like 11, and then I go home and turn my skirt off. So
modern problems. I need to go home and turn my skirt off.
I'm tired. Yeah. My skirt's battery is dead. Or I'll use it as an excuse. Can't stay out anymore. Skirt battery dead.
Yeah.
So the 500 would do, yeah. But you could use a bigger one if your skirt's not that heavy or you're putting your battery in a different place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now it's time for the giveaway.
Ooh, okay. So here's this Flora GPS. Ooh, so cool. You can log your dog. I recommend logging your dog. You can also log yourself.
You can log dogs.
A lot of people ask me about hiking GPS projects, and I thought that the dog is more visually appealing than hiking.
Yeah, some people have pet bats.
The Flora is a little I think you have to go for Gemma if you're gonna, and you can't use Gemma with the GPS. I'm sorry, but your
really
pet,
big bats?
Your pet bat. Oh my gosh, you have a really big pet bat.
I've seen them. Yeah.
Okay, if I've answered your question today, your name is on a piece of paper in the designated random choosing bin.
Yeah.
AKA Chinese takeout container. And if you would like to be eligible for a giveaway in the future, all you have to do is ask a relevant wearable electronics question in the comments. If I answer your question live on the show, you will be eligible to win a prize. You can ask as many questions as you want. I picked a winner randomly. You saw me do it. And the GPS goes to Stephen Rice, who asks about controlling animations with his NeoPixel rings and Gemma. Congratulations. You can email support@adafruit.com to claim your Flora GPS module. And if you didn't win, ask another question.
Okay.
Maybe you'll win next time.
All right. Let's just pay some bills real quick. Don't forget, code is GPS doglog.
Doglog rolls downstairs.
Yeah.
Loner in dogs.
Log.
GPS dog log is the answer. Get 10% off of Flora and Wearables until midnight tonight.
Yeah.
And if you've got a cool project to show off, wearable or otherwise,
Or a giant pet bat.
We make an exception for a giant pet bat without any electronics.
See, I'm gonna bring this in now. On the show and tell, there's someone who's now making a internet-controlled lizard habitat.
Cool.
And you can change the humidity and you can do all this
Yeah.
stuff. So, because normally we get like cat projects, dog projects, bird projects.
No, reptile projects.
This is it's a lizard on the internet.
Yeah.
So that's on the show and tell. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like this, and there's nothing like that.
Nothing
there's a
like
whole bunch
that.
Of, yeah, there's a whole bunch.
Sally's got her lotus coat,
Yeah.
lizard habitat. I'm kind of a lizard on the inside, so.
That's cool. So that's at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, so if you want to show off your project, you can join us at 7:30 Eastern Time to sign up on the Google+. And at 8 o'clock, there's Ask an Engineer.
Ask an Engineer with Lady Ada, and she'll answer your engineering questions. And tonight we're going to have a fantastic show, lots of new products, debuting some videos, and sometimes even show things that are not released. Oh. So that's a lot of fun. Okay.
Yay.
Well, that's Wearable Electronics, Becky Stern. Another Another week.
Another week in the
We did it.
can. Join us the same bat time, same bat channel.
See, now it's all
Yeah,
about
I know. It's all about the bats.
bats.
Next week is GPS bat log.
Yeah.
And have a lovely Wednesday.
Okay, bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.